Did you know that modern music is designed to divide us, keep us sad, broke, powerless, and perfect for surveillance marketing, facial recognition? Rock and roll, jazz, blues, and soul were crushed by the police-state infrastructure in the old days, in similar ways to rap, heavy metal, and techno were targeted in the last few decades. There were times when Irish, Afghans, African slaves, First Nations, and colonial Indians were killed for practicing their culture, speaking their language, and passing down stories to future generations. Complete rebrands of hippies like Lynyrd Skynyrd, who made soulful music, wore vegetarian messages t-shirts, and even had album covers meant to be dipped in acid and handed out to the crowd. Their bridging of country, blues, biker style, and hard rock must have set off somebody who could sabotage their plane, sending them to their deaths in a fiery plane crash. Once the band died, their whole look was rebranded with Confederate flag symbolism and used to market a racist look designed not by the music but by the record label. If you listen to the music, you will find none of this psyop in there. They lauded the blues and never spoke a hateful word. This is the work of shills in boardrooms who targeted folk music, funk, R&B, Summer of Love, and outlaw country to be vomited up and flushed away. This happened many times as artists killed mysteriously at the height of their fame and their royalties signed to their mortal enemies, thinking about Jimi Hendrix, Tupac, Old Dirty, Janis Joplin, Big L, Kurt Cobain, the list goes on and on. The way we are pit against each other from rural and urban, black and white, Chicano and Native American, North and South, red and blue, conservative or liberal or libertarian, working class plumbers or white-collar engineers. Once we could all rock out to the oldies and bubblegum pop songs of our childhoods, now we have bozos from reality shows in power getting us to fight in the streets. CIA or COINTELPRO couldn't do better than brainwashing on TV or the radio. We could forge a new path, or maybe a more ancient one. Support local clothes sellers, invest in turning our yards into gardens to grow fruits and vegetables, getting our old neighbors involved in our adventures to mend our clothes and offer guidance to the kids no one is looking out for. Make sure our forgotten ones eat or get legal aid when caught on the wrong side of the law. Let's get back into teaching trades to the youth, musical instruments, life skills, fixing cars, planting gardens, home repair, and find reasons to have friends from outside our comfortable spectrum of thoughts and beliefs. Even the radical fringes have more in common than the war profiteers in DC music or politics, all designed by government-connected money structures, getting us to align into street gangs or fighting over weed when, if we all grew it, we could trade like frontiersmen. Instead of dying to make police or prison for profit hedge funds wealthy, we should be using culture, art, and spirituality to make each other stronger, to uplift and empower instead of tearing each other down, fighting over ego or petty conflicts. We are all hunted by unseen hands who use class war and poor versus rich to keep us from looking up at the robber barons who bleed us all dry. We used to remember the British and their dirty money networks were creeping in through robber baron larceny and Wall Street. It's an old game, greasers versus jocks, surfers versus cholos, Christian versus Muslim, rocker versus good old boy. We can all identify the BS done in our name without taking it as personal attacks. If somebody is upset about white supremacy and structural systems to hard segments of society, it doesn't mean Zach the skater or Donald the construction worker. Red line laws and racist covenants to keep certain areas white, redistricting and forced busing to cut funding to black centers of learning and culture, slum clearance and freeways designed to wall off certain areas. We can see that recreational killing by police, sent out with quotas that causes them to manufacture crime to get promoted, is a system that can't continue. We can say the government has stopped representing us without feeling personally attacked. Upset people burning flags is nothing compared to the damage done by political criminals who pass laws they didn't even write. Created by offshore corporate interests who want to sell our groundwater back to us, we can foster a world of not just empty hope and desire, but a well-crafted and small cultural change that demands a world where government agencies and police don't lie in wait to tax us or steal our wages while we struggle to survive. Gentrification designed to push out the art scene that made areas well known for cheap rent and free spirits. We need to stop letting the media think for us, end the two-party system and offshore loyalties that get our politicans to stab us from behind. We should rethink our history, find common ground and solidarity. There is much more in life to find than struggling to pay banks and get a living wage once we realize the system has become too toxic, unsalvageable, and revolution is the only way to get back to an honorable system of government. The founding fathers wanted us to have a revolution every 20 years to prevent the rise of a militarized police state that preys human life to exploit riches from across the world, forcing us to live in fear of speed traps, no-knock raids, or the IRS deciding to rip apart our life, so we can all get the boot off the neck of future generations of humanity. There is far more in common from the radical fringes than the bureaucrats who lurk like wolves watching over sheep who are blind.